Hey Bellas, Kristen Som here. It's time to stitch in the ditch. So if you've already put your inner borders and outer borders on, it's time to stitch in the ditch. So a couple key things here, and I'll try to add some notes along the way, but a couple things is you want to start from the center and work your way out. I like to use invisible thread. I have a few different brands. I like this one the best. It's sulky, invisible, that's about all it says. I found it on Amazon. There's other brands that'll work fine too. Excuse the dogs. You want to add your backing about 2 inches larger all the way around, just like when we do our quilting, we always add a couple inches. So same thing when we add our backing. And if you want, you can add another layer of batting to add your backing. I don't do that because mine is going to be a wall hanging. If you're going to use this very detailed quilt as a actual quilt and you want it warmer, then add another layer of batting. That's all good too. But for me, I just add the backing. What else? Start in the center, clear thread, 2 inches all the way around. Walking foot. So if you have a walking foot, use it. It's really funny. I have never used mine ever, and I've finished a couple of these quilts now, yay me, and never used my walking foot. So remember, I got my machine right before COVID, and so I haven't had any lessons on it. And so I looked on YouTube for a couple of tutorials on how to use my walking foot and how to install my walking foot. And I did it every time, and every time it broke needles and it sounded so angry and it just didn't work. And so I gave up and never used it. And last night I was looking again and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and finally I found one that a lady said that for some machines you need this extra piece, and it's this little tiny piece that makes it like a little longer or something. I don't know, but I went through all of my little gadgets that came with my machine and it was in there, and I installed it and it worked great. I was pretty excited. So I'm hoping that'll make it easier. I know that stitching in the ditch is difficult, especially if you have a small throat machine. Then it's hard to pull all that fabric through, and but it's a pretty quick process and saves about $260. I had my very first quilt I had quilted in these Kimberbell ones. You have to have custom quilted so that it goes around all the specialty parts of the quilt, and it costs $260 to do that. And that's when I decided to learn how to quilt as I worked on my quilt. And so it saves a lot of money, and then it's all you, right? You made your quilt, you did it all. So I think that's pretty cool personally. So anyway, time for stitching in the ditch, and if I think of any other tips, I will add them in the post. So let's do this.